Call to order.
Lucas Richardson,
Here.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Here.
Kathleen Grabowski.
Here.
Sarah Harless.
Here.
Jess Stallings.
Here.
Mary Kay Wilkosh.
Here.
Kayla Willem.
Here.
All right, public comment on agenda-related items. Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, voice vote.
Aye.
All against. Okay. Approval of meeting minutes from May 6th.
I make a motion to approve minutes for May 6th.
I have a question. I don't remember us talking about the painting on the wall on First Street. And it says that for the, under you, Jermaine, for the.
We were just gonna paint it gray.
Okay,
Yep, we did discuss that.
okay.
And right now, we don't have an actual time for that, but we kind of just talked about doing it at some point, right?
All right.
When I know, when I.
I didn't know if you meant painting something or painting, so how it was worded was confusing to me.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, voice vote.
Aye.
All against? All right, unfinished business. Just a recap of the spring cleanup event. I think it was a great turnout. We had 125 approximately people from the city that came out and either recycled tires. I think we filled about a third of a semi-trailer, and then just over 90 yards of waste from bulk waste, which was a lot. And I do know firsthand, just from being in the neighborhood, one individual that had a lot of blight in their yard. They brought 5 mattresses, 4 couches, and 30 tires that were all in the yard
Great.
to this event, which
Yeah.
to me, the event was a success just from that one. But, you know, in the addition to have over 100 people come was really a big hit for what the cost was. It's, I think, gonna be only a couple $1,000s to do that whole thing, and that's pretty awesome, I thought, so.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
It was a little chilly, but good job.
Yeah, I think next year, or next time, rather, if we do this again this year even, we probably would want to have a little bit more of a plan to probably help out with some of the junk that was getting put into the dumpsters. I know a few of us, we kind of reacted after a couple hours and put some gloves on and started helping that, but the DPW guys, we definitely, kudos to them for helping as much as they did, because I guess I was under the impression that Republic was gonna have an army there, and there's only just one person from Republic, so DPW guys had to load all that stuff into the
And very graciously.
yeah, for sure, and there's, some of it was pretty gross, so kudos to them for helping do that. I guess anything else on the spring cleanup event?
Did we post anything about that?
I know I didn't do it because I thought I saw something on there.
The city did.
Yeah, I think DPW worked with Kelly on getting something out for that, so.
We could post like a thank you with a picture or something like that.
Yeah.
I would, just to show
think
that
so.
they were part of it.
Yeah, I gotta,
Even just the guys who did it, I mean, they worked their tails off.
Yeah.
So,
yep, I think so too. I'll work with Mary on getting something out for that. I gotta get a couple other things with her today, so.
Ugh, and I wouldn't want to carry all that stuff.
Do you think we should set one up like towards the fall? Because I have seen more mattresses and stuff in yards. Like maybe they got ready and they didn't have the chance to bring it down or something.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about, you know, trying to have some sort of transportation for it too. I didn't really see that as a problem for this one, but obviously there might be people that couldn't have got it there, so.
Yeah.
There's some way that I don't know if we could have multiple locations like we originally talked about, or some way to do that. But I think we can keep talking about it and that's what everyone wants to do and have a second event.
Good.
I think that'd be a good idea too. Cool. All right, I guess moving on to, the June 6th, Wagner Community Center project. So I know in the last meeting, we kind of moved towards, kind of stopping that project, because of some of the community's, I guess, impression on the project, thinking that we were going to be dedicating a lot of funds to it. And now I'll let Mary kind of speak more to it, but West Shore Bank's gonna be putting on this project, and I have it on the agenda for today for talking about helping out with some volunteers, so.
So, you know, we weren't able to do it here, so we picked it up as our Act of Kindness Day, and we choose one community project per year, so this is the one that we have chosen then. And so we like to make a difference where we work and where we live here in Manistee. So we have the community involved in this also. So we are picking up most of all of the plants and trees and shrubs and grasses and, you know, everything else. So we've paid for that, and a bench that Kathy and I have chosen. And then we have Anthony's outdoor lawn service coming, and he is going to fill the pond with dirt because it can't be fixed. It would cost too much, and so they're gonna make some drainage holes in there too. And then we're gonna fill that. Marie, which is Dr. Wagner's daughter, is going to bring their family heirloom plants. And their special irises that are gonna be planted in there, along with some other things that will come up every year. And then around that will be the butterfly bushes that I think Jermaine had suggested. We've got trees. Anthony's are gonna come and dig the trees. And then we have PCA bringing one truckload of the wood chips. And then we have Mr. Picardi coming in, bringing his little tractor so we can pick up some of the wood chips, so we don't have to wheelbarrow all of them ourselves. And we have, I'm trying to think of, I don't want to leave it. And then, of course, Marcy and her team at Wheezy's been very, very helpful. And let's see what else. So we have community volunteers coming. So people in the community, I've given you that flyer. We've kind of shared that. We've been on the radio with it, and you'll hear that several times with Scotty Mack in the morning. Sarah's been with us too, Sarah Howard from the Wagner Center. Their volunteers will be coming too, some of their staff also. So I think we're gonna have a good day, and also we start at 3, end at 7 or whatever time. And then West Shore Bank will provide pizza for everyone, pop and water. So I think we've covered everything that we can think of. And I think it'll be, you know, a great project for everyone. If anybody here wants to participate, that would be wonderful. I'm still looking for someone to donate some flowers for a couple of the containers, and if we don't, we'll do something else, but that's where we're at.
Do you think it would be a good thing to maybe advertise the event, like on the city page
Sure.
for this as well?
If you want to just use this flyer, it pretty much
Yeah.
tells everything, that would be great.
Okay.
Would we use that to solicit for volunteers as well? Are we sending this out to our volunteer group, or what is?
Yeah, I think if we post it on social media, we might as well do that as
Yeah,
well.
that would be great.
If, you know, if someone wants to, I don't know who's all gonna be available on this panel to go, but, bring a bunch of volunteer waivers. I mean, maybe we can pick up some volunteers for our group too.
Yeah, for sure.
At that event. It sounds like you got a lot of people coming, so.
Yeah, yeah, and we did reach out to Larson's Landscaping also to see if they would be so kind to pick up all of the stuff from Wheezy's, because we need a big truck. You know, there's a lot of trees and shrubs and all of that stuff, so we're waiting to hear from them. If not, we'll find an alternative, but I didn't want to leave them out, so.
Okay, great.
Wow, that sounds nice.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. So I'm glad your team
Yeah,
was able to pick that project up.
yeah,
There's a lot of work that was put into it from a lot of different people and.
Absolutely, and, you know, I think it's gonna benefit everyone, because it's not only the seniors that use it, everyone uses it, plus the farmer's market is there, so, you know, that's why we're asking for community help.
Yeah, I think it's good too that, you know, now that we're approaching the event, it's now knowing that we're, you know, contributing just volunteer services from this group and, you know, got all the donations for everything, which is awesome.
I think so.
Are we able to get an explanation as to why it was nixed from our group? Because that explanation was not given.
Sure, I can speak on that. The only issue is expending city funds for things that aren't city property. That's prohibited. So, for example, taking and using city funds and painting a private wall, that's prohibited. So that was the leading reason why that was the leading reason why it was communicated to me there was opposition to the project, at least use NRBC expending public funds for property not owned by the city. That's how it was communicated to me, so. And I'm not gonna wait till the end of the meeting, but what a huge lift from West Shore Bank, so I really appreciate that. And I'm sure that, hopefully the residents, the city and leadership appreciates that.
Yeah.
It's very squared away. It's a tremendous commitment to the public, so that's really, really awesome.
About it.
Yeah, what an awesome job.
I just have one other question, and it's, you know, obviously it's not really our committee's project any longer. It's kind of West Shore Banks, but what is the plan for the longevity of this from year to year with the senior center and the upkeep?
It's their responsibility, yep, Sarah knows that, and.
Okay. So it could be something that we could volunteer our time with to help upkeep it.
Yeah, no one can dictate how you spend your free time. Yeah, just a matter, city funds,
Yeah.
that's where the issue becomes, so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank
And
you.
and I think there's some miscommunication from, you know, just the public spreading some rumors, you know, there's always an intent, I think, to just volunteer our time for this project and get donors for all the plants and objects for the project, so just wanted to make that known to whoever.
Well, it's actually been a fine line, because when we did St. Joe, there were comments. Why are you spending city property on a church?
Yeah, city funds, and we got the paint,
City
and
funds.
we got the paint from donors, so.
That's right, we always have to kind of explain ourselves.
Right,
It might have been mentioned during even the Casman project. It's like, where do we go?
right.
What do we do?
Just gotta keep finding some opportunities and,
Yeah.
you know, if we need to find a way to use our funds in a different way, then we'll just keep doing that.
Well, Jermaine got, me permission to paint, anything that was wood at the Mac Park. And, so I've been working on that now, cause I'm too old to do it all in 2 days. I go, when I get tired, I come home, cause it's a block away. I got the paint, I've gone through a gallon of paint. I painted where the kids sit. I'm in a rush because T-ball starts at the beginning of June. And that's why I've kind of just been pushing ourselves to do it. And so T-ball starts at the beginning of June, and I wanted to get it done before they start. So, yeah, I think I got one more few edges of bleachers, because I painted the bleachers, the benches, anything that was wood in the park is now been wood. So, but then I went yesterday and I talked to Brandon, and I think I'm going to stop after that, because there again, if I want to paint the equipment, I'm stepping out of my bounds. Because that's the Parks Commission. And So Jim says, you better stop right now. I had the permission, because your name got the permission to do all the work. So I think, I'll probably stop here because I don't want to step on any toes.
Yeah, thank you, we appreciate that. And
It
Jim,
looks
thank
really
you.
nice. It looks really nice
Thank
for
you.
the little kids.
It's really nice.
Yeah, thank you. And,
It's a lot of hard work by yourself and
yeah,
Jim.
thank you. We just, when these old two people got tired, we just went home because get rest up, come back and do a little more, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. All right, so moving on from Wagner Center. So June 15th, Safety Day booth. I'll let Sarah and Kayla kind of take that one away. You guys have any updates?
So we were trying to decide how to spruce up our table, get more involved in the community that shows up. So we decided to see if we can purchase some planters that the kids can paint. And I did get a donation from Fox Farm Nurseries. They're gonna donate some small seedlings for the kids to plant. We have 100 of those. And then we were talking about getting some flowers that the kids can plant. So they're gonna paint the pot, plant the flower, and they get to take it home with them. Just something to get more involved with them.
But we didn't know if that was an allowable use
Yeah.
of funds.
Yep, so I reached out to the city attorney when you guys asked me about that. I haven't heard anything back from them, so I'm not sure. But that's coming up, so I don't know if we can follow up after this one.
But those funds are spent for community outreach, right, to be clear?
Yeah,
That's what I'm hearing, it's for community outreach.
Yep,
Yep.
Okay.
it's, we wanna spend about $167. 75 pots, paint pens, and then some flower flats for a total of $167.
Yeah,
Which would be for community outreach, but.
right.
We need to vote
And
on
what,
that, because I'm done with that.
what are you, what are you promoting for safety?
We're not, we're promoting our group.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is they are promoting beautification in the city.
Beautification. So they would plant something they could take home and put on their porch at their house.
Oh, cool.
They get a
Okay.
seedling and they could plant a tree at their house. So it would help with the beautification of their house and their neighborhood.
Okay.
would you see that as an allowable thing?
I would, I can get an opinion from the state attorney, but I think if we're spending money, it's probably best under Robert's rules to
I will
give
make a
it-
motion to, can I just put $200 just in case it goes over? a
I
little
would
bit?
say not to exceed this amount.
Okay. I'll make a motion not to exceed $200 for the Kids Safety Day booth.
I'll second. Any discussion on that? Anything else?
And just as a side note, if on the off chance there is an issue with that, the Manistee County Wexford Masaki Great Star Collaborative has donated funds to the police department for Kids Safety Day to be spent as we see. So we'll get that covered either way.
Awesome.
Just FYI.
Okay. So I guess we'll do roll call. Yep.
Lucas Richardson.
Yes.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Yes.
Kathleen Grabowski.
Yes.
Sarah Harless.
Yes.
Jess Stallings. Mary Kay Wilkosh.
Yes.
Kara Willem.
Yes.
Kayla Willem, excuse me. Sorry.
All right, and just before we move on from that one, I do have the rest of the seed packets in the lawn bags. I have them in my garage. It's full of my wedding stuff, so I will, I'll get that too. And I think I owe you your basket too. That's in my garage too.
If you want
so-
to use it again for
Okay.
that event, we can.
Everybody loved those seed packets, by the way. I didn't really say that. That was like, yeah, everybody was like,
Was
"Oh
it a
my
big
gosh."
hit? Was it?
Yeah, everybody's like, that's so cool. And seeing our contact information. That's why I wanted to check make sure that email was working.
Yes.
Because when I sent it, I was like expecting to get, I sent the email and then get the email back because I'm part of
But
that
you
group. But I didn't, yeah, so I might
Because
still have to,
When I did the test one, people responded that they got it, so
Yeah.
I'll double check and see why you didn't
okay,
get it.
okay. Thank you. All right, moving on to the city banner proposal. Sarah, you wanna give an update on that one? Or do you want me to? All right. So Sarah's done 99% of this, so I'll give her the credit for it. But here she's got basically a proposal of how we can beautify some of the corridors through town. We had a couple ideas of putting similar banners as down First Street over to the beach, because that is kind of the city's, I can't,
Main corridor.
yeah, like one of their main corridor, they have some designs for.
Entry corridor.
Yeah, entry corridor. So there's a different color, I think, for the entry corridor than the beach. So what we're proposing is probably the same banner down there, but the correct color for what's in their design packets that the city did with Rising Tide a few years ago. And to put those somewhere on one of the main corridors in the city. Some of the logistics we still have to kind of iron out, but the main purpose of moving this meeting and to have this as an agenda item today is that if we purchase this by tomorrow, all we're purchasing is the brackets and they donate the banners.
Oh.
And so it would be a substantial savings if we were to do that. And if we don't get these out on poles right away, then to me it's not, there's no harm in that. We could just store it until we figure out the logistics and
Who's donating the banners?
the company.
Oh, the company does.
Is it Britain?
Britain, out of Traverse City.
So Sarah worked with them in the village of Bear Lake pretty heavily because they did the same thing in Bear Lake. So
Okay.
And how many are we looking to purchase there?
was it 16?
16, I believe.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, I guess it's here.
How many do we plan to deploy?
I think it's all going to come down to the logistics of it. If from what I hear from DPW and from others, consumers might push back on putting them on utility poles. We got to still contact some of our contacts to figure
Okay.
some of that out. It would be great to put all of them, or maybe all but a couple for backup.
That's right, that's my thought, I just have a little bit of
Yeah.
reserve. We live in a world where people like to damage and steal things, arbitrary things.
And they
We don't
they
think
did-
it's arbitrary, but they do, and so just maybe have some reserves.
Right, and they did tell us, what was it, 5 to 7 year life?
Yep.
And they're all year round. So
They're
they
year
don't
round.
Taken down.
Nice.
And then we also Sarah got a cost for actually installing the banners themselves and the brackets from this company. So that way we don't have to put that on DPW, at least for the initial install. And then 2 other things on this that are kind of for future ideas. We thought maybe we could incorporate, where the police station is here at City Hall and put banners on poles that have like the city police logo. That's not going to be in this first proposal, but it was an idea. And then similar to that over by the fire station with like the fighter logo and patch. So if the US 31 corridor doesn't work out, I did have an idea the other day. I can't remember if it was yesterday or 2 days ago that I haven't told you, Sarah, but Washington Street could be a secondary option if we can't figure out the utility poles. There are those light poles.
Washington Maple, up and down?
Well, probably just north of the bridge because I don't think there's those same light poles.
Okay.
So we would put them on the actual light pole, like the 10-foot light poles instead of the full utility electric pole,
Sure.
Because those are all city owned or DDA
Right.
owned, so that'd be a lot easier to coordinate, I think.
Sarah, what do they have on Bear Lake?
They have them on consumers polls. Yeah, I have a contact with consumers, so
Okay.
I think we can make it work. We're on our 2nd round of banners in Bear Lake, so probably we're into 8 years.
Okay.
And we have them, they're on the US 31 corridor, and then they're all around the school.
Saw that.
And we haven't had any issues with theft or weathering or anything like that, so. Yeah.
Just gotta put them high enough, right?
Yep.
Crime's a little different there. I'm just kidding.
How much was it
So
for
it's
16
population.
of them?
Do you have that, Lucas?
Oh, I'm gonna have to find it, cause we're in.
Did he say 16 or 60?
That's why I said 6.
16,
16, 16, okay, sorry.
it's okay. I know we had it in an email, I guess I missed that it wasn't on the proposal.
Let's see.
What is the
I can do
company
the math.
that's gonna pick the things up? Larson's?
Larson's, we're asking.
With installation, about $4,720.
Okay, so can we add in there the police and fire station banners then?
I don't know if we would have enough funds by the time if we go forward with the entrance sign one as well.
I think the entrance signs are priority over police and fire. Although I do appreciate the idea and the vision, but if we're prioritizing a project, a banner for the police department should be lower than a community need where,
So what if we say this, what if we, if these are the last two projects in this fiscal year, which probably with the fiscal year ending in a month, when we talk about the entrance signs and if that gets approved, then maybe we can make a motion to use whatever funds are left on the banners if it's more than the 16.
Well, did we ever purchase all the equipment we wanted?
And the equipment, yeah, we need to go do that.
Okay, because that was already out there, so
yeah.
that funds is taken away from already this, I mean, you haven't.
We have not, no, we have that consideration,
Okay.
yeah. The budget is still there for that
Yeah.
equipment that Chief and I have to go purchase.
But it starts over in June or July?
July 1st.
So July 1st, I mean,
We'll have those funds again.
yeah, because we don't have that many projects that need, because God
We
forbid
won't
we
have
spend money.
I don't have the exact number budgeted for next year, but it's not the amount that was budgeted this year. So I think it's $4,000 for next fiscal year.
Why?
Or 6. What's that?
Why?
That's not a question I can answer. I can forward on your question why that amount was reduced.
Okay, I don't remember it being reduced.
So if you remember, the NRBC was budgeted $2,500.
Right.
That was our budget in the first year, which was a big commitment by the city. And then there was this list of projects to be done, and money was split between the parks and the NRBC, and that money ended up coming over to NRBC. And so through the budgeting process, that was streamlined. And so I can get you the exact dollar amount in next year's budget. But it won't be, it's not as high as $8,000 what we had this year.
Isn't it 15,000?
This year?
Yeah.
I don't think
Split
it
it
was
with the
15,000.
parks. Yeah, we split it with the
Yeah.
parks.
So there was that money that was split plus our original budget, which was budgeted, or under line item, my operating budget, $2,500. So those two combined is how we had the dollar amount in this fiscal year.
Okay.
Is there concern for some reason with using like the police and the fire? I mean,
What do you mean?
well, I appreciate your sentiment of, you know, you prefer like a police department being lower priority. But I kind of respectfully disagree with you. I think that the police and the fire department are like an integral part of our community and something that we should be proud of and highlighting. You were just recently accredited. You know, we have a manned fire station that most places don't have. And so I would like to promote it, I guess, and make people see it as a positive thing and something that we're proud of as a community. So I kind of.
Well, I appreciate your sentiment. It's hard for me to justify prior prioritizing something for the police department over something that could beautify our community. So I respect your position.
Two banners on Maple Street, two banners on First Street,
Yeah.
I think is well worth what we should, be valuing in our community.
I agree with Sarah.
Sorry.
So if we can squeeze those in somewhere.
We may not be able to, I'm just,
I appreciate it.
I just think as a community, we need to value what we have,
Right.
so.
So is there a motion? I would like to, but I think with Sarah and I kind of put
I
this one
make a
together, I think
motion
someone else
to,
should.
I make a motion to authorize 5,000 for the, no more than 5,000 right now for the banners.
I second that.
Okay, roll call.
Lucas Richardson,
Yes.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Yes.
Kathleen Grabowski,
Yes,
Sarah Harless,
Yes,
Jess Stallings, Mary Kay Wilkosh,
Yes.
Kayla Willem.
Yes.
Who's making this purchase? Who's actually the point of contact?
I think that, Sarah, if you could work with Mary on that.
yep.
And now that that's approved, then, it sounded like the consensus was with the intent to try to get a couple with the police and fire, areas. We have to still work with the company to give them a design anyway. So we'll work with, chief and the city manager to see how we can do that.
You can just email your patch today, or patches. We just had patch redesign, so the fire department.
Yeah, I just know that in that packet, there's specific
Branding.
things, the branding got approved, and I don't know if that was in there, so
He did say we could deviate from that somewhat, but it would be nice if it was matching. I did notice the beach banners are now the ones that are in the packet.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, they
weren't.
were deviated, right? They
Yeah.
didn't have the.
They were, but now they're not.
Oh, really?
No, if you go through First Street, they are the water entry.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
well, I think there's still a little patch on the bottom that was missing from the branding, like it said like Manistee or something.
okay.
That didn't make it on there, but it was a little bit deviated, and if we have to go to a council meeting, that's okay, because we did coordinate, with the contractor that we could put an order in and then get the design later and still get the discount, so we'll do that first, and then we'll figure out the designs and go from there later, so.
and really, at first glance, in the summer, it might help the tourists to see, oh, there's the police department, I see it on the banner.
I think anybody. Honestly, if you don't know where the police station is or the fire station,
Yes,
mean-
it's kind of also accrediting them, plus it's also helping people to know where it is.
right? Yeah, the police station is a little bit hidden underneath this building, so.
We're in the dungeon. We'll just say it.
They're underground.
All right. Anything else on the banners? Anyone?
What are they gonna say?
They'll be, the design we still gotta figure out, but it'll be basically the city of Manistee and in the logo, the city of Manistee logo, so.
Nice.
There's a whole packet of branding, and, we'll pick something that's,
Okay,
Thanks for working on
Beautifies
that.
the area.
It's gonna be nice.
I think so too.
I think they're nice.
Yeah.
And did you say that someone's gonna come talk to city council, or are we just utilizing our, commission
From it,
mayor just
from
to
the sounds.
to let council know that we're putting things in the right of way and just make sure that process is.
From the sounds of it, city manager wanted us to stick with the branding, but if we deviate from that, we might have to go just present it to city council to make sure any deviation is okay, so. Okay, so city entrance signs, so, sorry for the last minute, proposal here, but I'm proposing to go and plant these if this is approved tomorrow at 1 o'clock. DPW already went out and, removed the rocks this morning and added more sand. And I got Wheaties to extend their quote, cause I got this on May 8th, it looks like, and it says for 15 days, but they said it's okay, the price won't change, so. This is to plant dune grass around the entrance signs and put what's called little bunnies, and they're like these little bushes that only grow to a certain height, so that way it kind of adds a second plant in there. And the goal is to kind of have the sign totally filled with dune grass eventually, and enhance our best beach in Michigan, right?
I voted.
So I guess, if there's any questions, I can try to answer them on this, but otherwise looking for a motion.
If we just,
Yes,
it's already been included in our funds?
yep, so I think the last time we purchased something, we had over 8,000. So, yep.
So you're looking
So-
for volunteers?
Uh,
Or what are-
definitely-
What are we asking for?
Definitely going to need some volunteers, but I also need a motion to, approve this as a expense, something that we would like to do.
So is this the Weezy Brothers expense, what you're proposing?
Yes. the
$2,200?
The $2,229.20.
Okay, so just keep in mind that we have that proposal, plus we just approved $5,000, plus there's a bunch of equipment that's been approved to purchase, that hasn't been purchased yet. So I don't know if we can squeeze it all into our $200 budget.
That was what I think Mary was talking about, so I think that's why I mentioned, well, if we approve this plus the banners, then, whatever's left, maybe the banners, we have one less banner, if that's the consensus.
And there is some wiggle room on that banner amount based on the number of banners we have for installation.
What's the timing of that? When would those funds be expended?
For the banners?
For the banners, just so we can see.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I have to get with my gal today
Okay.
so that she can get the proposal done because it has to be done by the end of this month. When the bill will actually come.
But we'll know, what I'm hearing is we'll know in a few days what the dollar amount's gonna be.
Or tomorrow.
Okay, all right, we can, then
Absolutely.
we can work with that. Okay, just wanna make you aware of that we're danger close to.
Yeah, so if we, I guess, asking everybody here, if we do get really close, since we do have these two projects that are pretty large expenses, would I have a consensus to either push back some of those equipment purchases after July 1st, or should we reduce the amount of banners by like one or two banners?
Well, that's what I meant. Why don't we?
Just so I can interject real quick here.
What equipment we're purchasing?
Yeah, so my memory serves me, the biggest equipment purchase, as my memory serves me, so forgive me if, I've slept since then, but I think was the super duper backpack leaf blower, for
Right.
lack of a better term, which was like, I think I eyeballed it like $600. There was a sidewalk shovel and some other things, but that was the largest expense that I can recall. And what I would ask, I won't wait till the comments, but I need somehow to formulate a list of what's been approved, and then one of the members go on a shopping trip with me, but as my memory serves me, that was probably the highest expense item that was proposed to be purchased. I think
That sounds right. I think it's probably no more than like $800 or something.
yeah. The other items, and chirping, if you want, like the shovels and rakes and so drop cloths, paint, sidewalk scrapers, rakes, blowers, shovels. Some of that stuff, again, not being cavalier with expenditure of funds, but that's kind of a lower cost. So, I would recommend that, because we already have equipment, that we prioritize the entryway, the signs, and what we have left, we'll expend those funds and reevaluate that July 1 when the budget resets to say, okay, is there some things we can pick up there? Does that make sense?
Yes.
To me.
All right.
So does she have to, just so we know, does she have to have does the check need to go out before July 1st?
No,
Or
so
do we just
how
have to have a
budget-
bill?
No, so how the budgeting works is I will coordinate with her independently. Whatever quote she has, I will sign because it's coming out of the police department budget. And whenever that bill comes in, it can still be paid out of so if we're in July or August, it could still be paid out of the previous year's budget. As you get into August, the auditors start getting a little nervous when it gets past then. But the main priority is making sure we understand what that dollar amount's gonna be.
Know the number, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we know the number, I mean, we know the number for this, we know the number for that by tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, that's it. And so we can pivot and
Okay.
accomplish what the missions are here, I think.
I'm not positive, but I think the invoice needs to be dated
Yes.
before
Okay.
July 1st.
Okay.
We can manage all this stuff. It's
I
easy
mean,
stuff.
some companies are easier with that than others. I've tried to, excuse me, we've been invoiced for things in July that I've tried to walk back to June, and the company has told me that it messes up their accounting to backdate something, so,
I believe for this company, it has to be dated in May to be able to get the promotion that we're
okay,
getting.
perfect.
So, we'll be fine.
All right, so is there a consensus on what Chief suggested? Maybe
Yes.
pushing back the equipment?
Yes.
Okay.
We
All
have
right,
a
so
motion
then we
for
need
this?
yeah, so if there's a motion for the Wheezy's quote,
Did you make a motion?
nobody did.
I'll make a motion to accept the Wheezy's quote at $2,229.20.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Lucas Richardson,
Yes.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Yes.
Kathleen Grabowski,
Yes,
Sarah Harless.
Yes.
Jess Stallings, Mary Kay Wilkosh,
Yes.
Kayla Willem.
Yes.
Just as a quick note, when we do these quotes, we are tax exempt. It's not gonna make a big deal, but I'll provide our tax exempt paperwork.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
why.
So we'll save $109.
And then, just for clarification, you're looking to do this project sooner than later?
Yeah, tomorrow at 1 to 4.
And do you have logistically, do you have a way to get said items to said location?
Myself, unless someone else can help me do that, yes.
This is the opportunity. So are you
Yeah.
looking for people to help you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to advertise it without us approving the project.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
So do you
And-
want me to send out an email to?
yes, now, yeah, now that we have this approved.
Why are
yes.
you doing it tomorrow? Wonderful. What?
Because the,
Because
because the later that you wait for
You have
dune
to-
grass, it'll fry.
Okay, all right,
It's a
okay.
time-sensitive thing on doing.
Yeah.
Is it, okay.
So,
What time was that project? I'm sorry, what'd you say?
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock tomorrow, and honestly, I don't think it's gonna take that long, but I said 1 to 4.
I'll be ready.
Hey,
Where do
It's
you,
where
where do you want people to?
Which
come?
entrance?
The entrance sign, we'll
By-
probably start at the north one, up by the, muffler man there. And then when we get that one done, then we'll go to the south one by Family Fair. I do have some of our staff from Spicer Group coming to volunteer, to do that, and then I tried to do it during city staff hours, but I don't know if that's something that any city staff is gonna be able to help with, but,
Do you have a certain staff member in mind that you're asking? Yeah.
anyone.
So should the email say to meet at the north and?
Yeah, at the north
the
entrance
sign
sign.
on the north, entrance sign on the north side.
And volunteers have to sign a waiver, or what do they need to do?
If they're not on our list already, then yeah, they would have to sign a volunteer waiver.
It's waiver of liability.
Yep.
Yeah, understood.
Mary, did you hear anything from the Parks Commission after we sent out an invite to join us?
No.
Because I've been having trouble with my phone, so I didn't know. Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna move on here to future project updates. We don't have to go through every one if we don't have anything, but just go down the list. Kathy, do you have any updates for a July project?
I believe it's just gonna be that sidewalk on Concord or Lexington, because I've already done the park.
Okay. So maybe by next meeting, you'll have actual day, to
Oh, sure.
to start
Sure,
advertising.
sure,
Let's
sure.
do that.
I mean, when we did that sidewalk on the highway, I mean, by St. Joe, it's rugged work, but I don't think it'll take, just one block. I don't think it'll take over a couple hours.
Okay.
It'll be maybe, probably in the evening. I will do that for you.
Okay. Jess,
No update at this time.
Mary,
Nothing yet.
team Jess, Kayla, and Sarah.
Nothing yet.
All right. Public comment?
You know that sidewalk we did last year over on Fourth, on Cypress coming.
Oh, yeah.
It's starting to grow back to weeds again.
Everybody always tells us that. You know that
He makes
job
it
you
with that
did?
one and she does it.
I think a while back, we did talk about on this commission, you know, if we go to a location and then it goes back to the same condition before, then we are gonna start sending those noxious weed
Can we put some of
letters.
that screen on it with that, for that, killer, the green they put in flowers?
We could. I think just knowing that we already went there though,
Yes.
I think we should send a noxious weed letter to them. Since obviously they didn't get the point when we went out there and. Okay, go to the order, Sarah,
Nothing?
Kayla,
Nothing.
Nothing.
Kathy,
Nothing, thank you.
Mary, Jess. Other Mayor,
No, thank
Josh.
Just a couple of things. Number one, in case you haven't heard, Kids Safety Day is June 15th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talked about it. I would ask you to help us push this out to the public. Excited to have it, excited to have a bigger event. It's growing. Number two, I posted the position for code enforcement officer. We will have interviews in a few weeks. Hopefully have that position up and running July 1st. It's a part-time code enforcement officer that will be focusing on our blight ordinance. And then finally, not real specific to this group, but sometimes when you get boards and commissions together, there's sometimes frustration, and some commissions I've been a part of would say, okay, I don't know what we're doing or what we're supposed to be doing. What I always try to refocus people back to is really utilizing the purpose statement in our bylaws to help really focus our efforts and resources. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes we get so overwhelmed and busy and, okay, what are we doing? You get off the, always come back and help us to refocus us and the commission's efforts. That's my recommendation. We have two very specific purposes for the commission. So again, not specific to this commission, but I've seen it in other ones. So always use that as a compass, I would recommend.
Thank you. Take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.